Hello, welcome to Day 5 of LRI Engineering's National Accessibility Week Information Series. In this video, we will take a look at how COVID-19 is changing the use of public spaces and the resulting impact on people with disabilities. As new protocols are being implemented throughout the spaces we use, it is important to make sure that the needs of all people are being met, so that everyone can access goods and services while also adhering to public health measures. COVID-19 has had and continues to have an impact on all of our lives. Typical daily routines like going to work, going to get groceries, or a simple visit to the park have changed due to stay-at-home orders, closures of non-essential businesses, and various restrictions in public spaces. Public health measures like washing your hands more often, maintaining physical distancing while out in public, which means keeping 2 meters of distance between you and others, wearing face coverings or masks while out in public, and even in more serious instances, staying at home have all started to reshape society. The purpose of the measures implemented by government and health officials is to reduce the spread of COVID-19 and to help protect those that are most vulnerable in our communities. As we slowly reintegrate back into the public spaces we once frequented on a daily basis, it is clear that we will be stepping into a new normal. New processes, new procedures, and new social norms will continue to evolve as we adapt to this unprecedented health crisis. These changes will impact everyone, especially those with disabilities. Physical distancing has quickly become a common practice for reducing the spread of COVID-19. It requires that people remain at least 2 meters or 6 feet apart from one another. As society works to adapt, we may see wider paths of travel in our built environment in order to accommodate physical distancing measures. Wider paths of travel, beyond the minimum requirements of the code, are an integral part of universal design. The additional space will allow for easier maneuverability of mobility devices or strollers, the ability to turn and travel in another direction, space to navigate around others without having to come into contact with them, and space to stop and wait or rest. The New England Journal of Medicine reports that COVID-19 can survive on surfaces from hours to days. The virus can be detected for up to 4 hours on copper, 24 hours on cardboard, and 2 to 3 days on plastic and stainless steel. As a result, there will likely be an increase in automation and hands-free activation of devices, such as hand-wave power door operators, automatic faucets, and automatic water closet flush controls. It will be important to limit contact with high-traffic building elements to reduce the risk of spreading COVID-19. Other high-traffic elements like handrails, toilet grab bars, and door hardware will need to be cleaned and sanitized more often. We also may see an increase in the use of signage and wayfinding to communicate new information about the surrounding environment and to direct building occupants throughout floor areas and public spaces. Clear directions throughout a floor area are beneficial to everyone, especially those who use mobility devices, as it will reduce the need for searching the floor area for a destination, which can cause fatigue and the exertion of unnecessary effort. There are many different needs that need to be taken into consideration when developing new processes and procedures. It is important to review everything through the lens of accessibility and universal design, and to engage with people with disabilities in order to develop a well-rounded process that meets the needs of the widest group possible. Queuing lines are by no means a new concept. However, in the wake of COVID-19, they are being used more often as a way of controlling the number of people entering a building in order to allow occupants to maintain proper physical distancing while inside. In Ontario, fixed queuing guides are required by the AODA Design of Public Spaces Standard, or DOPS, to provide sufficient width to allow for the passage of mobility aids and mobility assistive devices, to provide sufficient clear floor area to permit mobility aids to turn where queuing lines change direction, and to be cane detectable. However, additional measures should be considered in order to enhance the function, equitability, and intuitive use of queuing lines. Note that these measures should also be incorporated into the design of non-fixed or temporary queuing guides. Items like cane detectable and color contrasted tactile markings spaced 2 meters apart within the queuing line allow people who have low vision or are blind to interpret their environment in order to respect physical distancing measures. Without tactile cues, people may end up putting themselves at risk of coming into contact with someone who may be carrying the virus. Additionally, wayfinding measures, such as tactile directional indicators, should be provided to guide people from common access points to the queuing line in order to avoid confusion about where they are to line up. Queuing lines should also be sheltered, or provided with a covering to shield and protect people from the natural elements like precipitation and the hot summer sun. As a growing number of people are using masks in public, to help reduce the risk of spreading COVID-19, it poses challenges to people who may be deaf or deafened and rely on lip reading in order to communicate. Consider using masks that have a transparent portion that will allow a person to be able to read lips. This is especially important where you are involved in customer service or are providing people with information. As mentioned earlier, it will also be important to increase the cleaning and sanitizing of high-traffic building elements, such as tactile signage, controls, washroom accessories, door hardware, and stair railings, as this will help reduce the risk of coming into contact with COVID-19. Going forward, remember that COVID-19 impacts everyone, and everyone will have their own experiences and challenges. It is important to always do your research and to understand the applicable regulatory accessible built environment requirements and best practices, and to engage with people with disabilities in order to develop well-rounded, meaningful processes and procedures. Understand that new processes and procedures may need to be adapted to suit the needs of the public when new guidance or recommendations are provided. Lastly, be patient with people that may need additional help to understand and adapt to the new normal we are all experiencing. This online training has been produced and presented by LRI Engineering, Inc. LRI is a Canadian professional engineering firm specializing in emergency planning, fire protection engineering, building and fire code consulting, and accessibility consulting services. For more information about LRI and how we can help you, please visit our website, follow us on social media, or call us today. Remember that we are all in this together, and it is our duty and responsibility to create equitable environments so that everyone can participate in society and enjoy life to its fullest. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe and take care.